I want you to imagine just for a second that you've been tasked with keeping the world's most dangerous digital secret.
Oh, wow. Okay, no pressure.
Right. I mean, zero pressure. You have spent billions of dollars building, like, the ultimate vault.
The best money can buy.
Exactly. You've set up the tripwires, you've hired the most elite guards on the planet, but then, right as you're about to turn off the lights and go home for the weekend, you accidentally leave the front door wide open.
Yeah, that is a nightmare scenario.
Not just unlocked, by the way, completely ajar, like for the entire internet to casually stroll right through. So welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, glad to be here for this one.
We are exploring a situation that honestly, it sounds like the plot of a high-stakes Hollywood thriller, but it is, unfortunately, very real.
Very real and happening right now.
Yeah. Our mission today is to unpack a massive, entirely accidental data leak from Anthropic.
Right, the AI company.
Yeah, exactly. And this leak revealed their newest, most powerful AI model to date. So we are going to explore exactly why the biggest names in finance and cybersecurity are suddenly sounding the alarm, like about catastrophic global threats.
Yeah, it really is a scenario where the reality is rapidly outpacing the fiction at this point.
It's insane.
It is. And to guide us through this, we're drawing from a very detailed report sourced from the KULT Patreon page.
It's a really thorough report.
Yeah, it's incredibly comprehensive. It covers the technical blunders that led to the leak, the highly classified contents of the exposed documents, and this is key. It's the incredibly stark warnings coming from industry leaders.
Right, the people who have actually seen what this technology can do in the wild.
Exactly. So it's a lot to cover.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the way the secret actually got out is almost painfully mundane.
It really is.
We're talking about an incident that happened late last month. Anthropic, a company that is undeniably at the absolute forefront of artificial intelligence, they suffered a massive leak. And the cause? A simple misconfiguration in their content management system, or CMS.
Which is just wild to think about.
Like, I want to be clear here for you listening, this wasn't some sophisticated zero-day exploit.
And just to define that for a moment, a zero-day exploit is essentially a hacker finding a secret, fatal flaw in a piece of software. Like a flaw that developers don't even know about yet.
Right, the holy grail of hacking.
Exactly. It requires immense skill and timing. But that is, well, that's not what happened here at all.
Right. No one rappelled down an elevator shaft like Tom Cruise or, cracked a master encryption key. Their CMS, which is literally just the software they use to publish their company blog.
Their blog, yeah.
It inadvertently exposed nearly 3,000 internal, highly classified files to the public internet.
3,000 files. I mean, that's a massive data dump.
Huge.
And the mechanism of the leak is the critical part here, because Anthropic ultimately chalked this up to, quote, human error.
Human error,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. The CMS, they were using defaults to making digital assets publicly accessible, unless, a user explicitly goes in and marks them as private.
Wait, so the default is just public?
Yeah, public by default. So if an administrator forgets to check that one specific box, your highly sensitive internal document is live on the web, like for anyone with a web scraper to just find.
I mean, to put this in perspective for you, it is like carefully typing out a highly confidential Google Doc that contains all of your personal passwords, your banking info, your social security number.
Basically your entire life.
Yeah, and then just accidentally dropping the link into a public Reddit forum.
Right.
All because you didn't double-check the link sharing permissions.
It's the exact same concept.
It's a completely basic administrative oversight, but with astronomical, world-altering stakes.
Right. And of course, the internet misses absolutely nothing.
Never.
Yeah.
2 independent security researchers actually spotted this exposed data store. Roy Paz from Layer X Security and Alexandra Pauls from the University of Cambridge.
So 2 different people found it on their own.
Yeah, independently. They both found this cache of documents before Fortune magazine eventually got hold of it, reviewed the materials, and reported on the whole thing.
What's fascinating here is the sheer, undeniable irony of the situation.
Oh, the irony is thick.
It really is.
Yeah.
You have Anthropic, right? A company operating with billions of dollars in funding, sitting at the bleeding edge of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
They are actively building tools specifically designed for advanced cybersecurity and complex digital defense.
And they trip over their own shoelaces.
Exactly. They get tripped up by a completely basic IT administrative error. It highlights a fundamental truth about cybersecurity that we often forget, when we talk about algorithms and AI.
Which is what?
that the weakest link is almost always human infrastructure. You can build the most impenetrable fortress of code in the world, but if an intern leaves the digital window open because of a default software setting...
The fortress is compromised.
Exactly.
The human element is always the wild card. I mean, Anthropic did quickly restrict access once the alarm was raised.
Well, yeah, they had to.
Right. And they tried to do some damage control. They were claiming these were just, quote, preliminary drafts of content under consideration for publication.
Right, downplaying it.
Totally downplaying it. But that irony you just mentioned, it gets magnified 100 times over when we actually look at what those so-called preliminary drafts describe.
Oh, yeah.
Because they weren't drafting a mundane post about, like, a minor software update or a new office opening. They were drafting the reveal of a model engineered to completely dominate cyber capabilities.
Yeah, the draft blog post revealed a highly classified model known internally by the codename Capybara.
Capybara, I love that.
It's a great codename. And it was slated for public release as Claude Mythos.
Capybara. It just sounds so incredibly cute and harmless. Like you picture a giant, chill rodent just hanging out in a hot spring.
Right, very relaxed, very non-threatening.
But according to the leaked documents that Fortune reviewed, Anthropic described Claude Mythos as, quote, by far the most powerful AI model we have ever developed.
Which is saying something coming from them.
Absolutely. And they went on to state, in black and white, that it is currently far ahead of any other AI model in cyber capabilities.
Far ahead.
Yeah. They're claiming significant advancements across the board, in reasoning, in programming, and specifically in offensive and defensive cybersecurity.
And after the leak forced their hand, Anthropic really had to come clean.
They couldn't hide it anymore.
No. They confirmed the model's development and explicitly called it a, quote, significant shift in AI performance.
A significant shift.
Yeah, and that phrasing, a significant shift, is doing a massive amount of heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
We need to look at what an advancement in reasoning actually means in this context.
Yeah, what does that look like practically?
Well, when an AI company talks about reasoning, they aren't talking about an agent that just passively regurgitates code you memorized from, Stack Overflow or the internet.
Right.
They're talking about a system that actually understands the logical architecture of a computer network. A model with high-level reasoning can look at a corporate server, dynamically identify vulnerabilities that a human would completely miss.
And it just finds the holes.
It finds the holes, and then it writes custom, never-before-seen scripts to exploit those vulnerabilities in real time.
Wow. Okay. And Anthropic noted that Mythos is currently being tested with, like, a small group of early access customers.
Right, keeping it contained.
Yeah, their plan is a phased rollout. And crucially, they are initially focusing on putting it exclusively in the hands of cybersecurity defenders.
Which makes sense.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because you would logically think that after a massive, embarrassing leak of 3,000 internal files, a company would lock everything down tight, right?
You'd freeze everything, audit every system.
Exactly. But just days later, a second leak occurred.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And this one wasn't a blog post. This involved Claude Code, which is Anthropic's flagship AI programming tool.
Right.
Approximately 500,000 lines of raw source code for Claude Code were exposed to the public. And how did it happen?
Oh, this part is wild.
A debug file was accidentally included in a public NPM package.
Yeah. So for listeners who might not, live in developer environments, an NPM package is basically a publicly shared bundle of code that developers use to build software. It's meant to be public.
Right. The package itself is public. But accidentally leaving a debug file in that public bundle is catastrophic.
It's the worst thing you could do.
It's like shipping a high-tech, impenetrable safe to a customer, but accidentally leaving the manufacturer's master blueprint, the lot combinations, and the factory schematics just sitting inside the box.
That's a perfect analogy.
So I have to push back here, or at least ask the question that I think we are all wondering.
Go for it.
We are looking at two major, highly embarrassing leaks in a matter of days from literally one of the smartest companies on Earth.
Yeah.
Are these AI companies just moving way too fast?
It definitely looks that way.
Like, are they subscribing so heavily to that old Silicon Valley mantra of, move fast and break things, that they are breaking basic security protocols at the exact moment they're handling the most dangerous technology they've ever built?
Right. I mean, it looks incredibly reckless from the outside. But you have to understand the sheer panic inside these development labs.
Panic? Really?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a blind devotion to moving fast for the sake of profit. They are in an existential arms race. Anthropic's stated goal is to get this incredibly powerful tool, Mythos, into the hands of defenders first.
Right, the good guys.
Yeah, they desperately want the security industry to have the ultimate shield before malicious actors figure out how to build the ultimate sword.
I see.
But the blinding pace of development required to stay ahead in that race is clearly creating friction with basic, methodical security protocols.
Because they're cutting corners to go fast.
Exactly. When you are rushing to deploy a significant shift in cyber capabilities, the tedious administrative checks like reviewing exactly what goes into an NPM package or double-checking CMS defaults, those become bottlenecks.
Yeah.
And when humans bypass bottlenecks to maintain speed, you get devastating leaks.
And a debug file isn't just a minor oops. It contains the raw, unfiltered inner workings of a program.
Precisely. It shows how the AI, quote-unquote, thinks before it answers a prompt, how it processes logic, and how it communicates with servers.
So it's the brain.
Yeah. Exposing 500,000 lines of source code for an AI programming tool gives any adversary looking under the hood a massive unearned advantage in understanding exactly how Anthropic builds its systems, and consequently how to bypass them.
Man, so if this technology is breaking out of the developer bubble, who is actually standing on the front lines of this? Because it isn't just tech companies at risk. The heavyweights are weighing in, and they are painting a picture of a global security threat that goes way beyond corporate embarrassment.
Definitely. The reactions from top executives in the finance and cybersecurity sectors have been remarkably severe. We're no longer just hearing from tech bloggers debating the nuances of code.
Right.
We're hearing from the people directly responsible for securing the global economy.
Yeah, let's look at Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He gave an interview with Axios where he revealed that he had actually been briefed on this unreleased Mythos model.
Right, they gave him a preview.
Yeah. And his takeaway wasn't about how great this will be for corporate productivity or like writing better emails. Dimon explicitly warned that this model could dramatically increase the ability of hackers or foreign adversaries to carry out potentially catastrophic attacks.
Catastrophic.
He didn't mince words at all. He bluntly stated, quote, AI makes cybersecurity, and these AI agents make cybersecurity much worse.
And when the CEO of the largest bank in the United States says a new technology makes cybersecurity much worse and uses the word catastrophic, you have to pay attention.
You really do.
His fundamental concern is the shift in scale and sophistication. Financial institutions face millions of automated attacks every single day. But right now, those are mostly brute force attempts.
What does that mean practically?
It's essentially a dumb program trying a million common passwords to see what sticks, like guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over and over on different accounts.
Gotcha.
But a model like Mythos changes the nature of those attacks from dumb brute force to highly reasoned adaptive campaigns.
And it isn't just the finance sector ringing the alarm. Nikesh Arora, the CEO of Palo Alto Networks, which is, one of the biggest cybersecurity firms in the world, he published an essay recently titled Weaponized Intelligence.
That's quite a title.
Yeah. Aurora warns that the capabilities of these edge models are no longer theoretical. And just to clarify, when we say edge model in this context, we're talking about a cutting-edge, frontier AI system that is pushed to the absolute limits of current computational capability.
The biggest of the big.
Right. So he wrote that, quote, a single malicious actor will now be able to execute campaigns that previously required entire teams.
Entire teams replaced by one person.
Yeah. He goes as far as to call this the most momentous moment in the cybersecurity industry and says the only viable strategy moving forward is to fight AI with AI.
Aurora's essay really highlights the exact mechanism of why this is so deeply dangerous. It's the concept of asymmetric warfare. Historically, to execute a massive multi-stage cyber attack on a multinational corporation, or say, a city's power grid, you needed a coordinated team of specialized hackers.
Like a heist crew.
Exactly like an Ocean's 11 heist crew. You needed someone dedicated to reconnaissance, someone to write the actual malware, and someone with the specialized skill to handle lateral movement.
Wait, just so we're all on the same page, when you say lateral movement, you mean how a hacker sneaks through the internal network once they've already broken in the front door, right?
That is exactly it. Say a hacker breaks into a vulnerable smart thermostat in a corporate office.
Yeah.
That doesn't get them the encrypted payroll data. They have to move sideways or laterally through the network, hopping from the thermostat to a router, to a low-level server, and finally to the database.
Oh, wow.
And that lateral movement used to require profound human intuition, patience, and real-time problem solving. But now, An edge model like Mythos can potentially act as that entire specialized team.
It does all the jobs.
Yeah, it can handle the reconnaissance, write the malware, and dynamically navigate the lateral movement all on its own, directed by a single individual with malicious intent.
I hear that, and it sounds terrifying, but I need to play the skeptic for you for a second.
Sure.
Is it possible this is just typical CEO fearmonger? I mean, look at who we are talking about. Nikesh Arora is the CEO of a massive cybersecurity company.
Right.
Doesn't he have a massive financial incentive to make us all terrified so that every Fortune 500 company rushes out to buy more of his security software? Like, how much of this fight AI with AI rhetoric is just clever marketing hype versus a legitimate imminent threat to our infrastructure?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is crucial to maintain exactly that kind of skepticism. Yes, Palo Alto Networks absolutely stands to profit from a heightened threat landscape. It's their core business.
Naturally.
But the reality is that Aurora's mandate to fight AI with AI isn't just a convenient sales pitch. It's a fundamental paradigm shift dictated by the mechanics of the technology itself. Traditional defense mechanisms like firewalls or signature-based antivirus software, they essentially act like a bouncer at a nightclub checking IDs against a strict blacklist.
Okay, I like this analogy.
Right. They look for known threats.
Right.
If your malware signature is on the list, you don't get in.
But the AI attacker isn't using a known signature.
Right. An AI attacker isn't a guy trying to sneak in with a fake ID he bought online. It's a shapeshifter.
Oh, wow.
It walks up to the digital door, analyzes exactly what the firewall is looking for in real time, and instantly prints a flawless, never-before-seen disguise on the spot.
That is wild.
So when attackers have access to a technology that can reason and write entirely new, custom code on the fly to bypass specific defenses, those traditional bouncer mechanisms become instantly obsolete.
Right, the bouncer doesn't stand a chance.
None at all. You literally need an AI defender that can reason, adapt, and rewrite its own rules just as fast as the AI attacker. So the hype absolutely benefits their bottom line, but the structural shift in how cyber warfare is conducted is entirely real.
And to prove this isn't just theoretical fear-mongering about some dystopian future, we don't even have to look at predictions. We just have to look at what Anthropic's own leaked documents admit. And more importantly, what has already happened in the wild.
Yeah, this part of the report is staggering. According to the KULT Patreon report, the leaked documents didn't just contain marketing copy for Mythos. They contain Anthropic's own internal data.
Right.
Including the revelation that a Chinese state-sponsored group actually utilized Claude code to conduct cyber espionage.
Wait, the exact same AI programming tool that just had 500,000 lines of its source code leaked?
The very same. And they used it to successfully infiltrate approximately 30 different organizations. We are talking about major technology companies, financial institutions, and government agencies.
30
distinct organizations breached by state-sponsored hackers utilizing Anthropic's own AI tool. That was before Anthropic finally detected the operation and shut it down.
So how does an AI coding tool actually amplify a hacker like that? Like, does it just type code faster?
It's more about scale and cognitive offloading. Usually, a human hacker has to manually sift through millions of lines of a target company's code to find a tiny, obscure vulnerability. That takes weeks, sometimes months.
Right, looking for a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. But Claude Code can ingest that entire repository in seconds, spot a microscopic logic flaw a human would easily miss, and immediately generate a custom bespoke script to exploit it.
That is terrifying.
A state-sponsored group already has immense resources, but by leveraging this AI tool, they amplify their capabilities enough to compromise 30 highly secure targets simultaneously. It demonstrates that the technology is already being weaponized effectively.
And the leaked draft blog post for Mythos shows that Anthropic knows exactly what is coming next. The document literally says, and I am quoting here directly, "As we prepare to launch Claude Capybara, we want to exercise extra caution and understand the risks it poses, even beyond what we learn in our own testing."
Yeah.
The draft openly admits that Mythos, quote, foreshadows an upcoming wave of models that can exploit vulnerabilities in ways that far outpace defenders' efforts.
Far outpace defenders' efforts. That is a stunning, incredibly candid admission from the very company building the model.
Yeah.
They are acknowledging that the offensive capabilities of this technology are currently scaling faster than our defensive frameworks can handle.
So what does this all mean? We're looking at this massive, glaring paradox. Anthropic is building this incredibly powerful tool, ostensibly so they can give it to cybersecurity defenders to protect our networks.
Right.
But at the exact same time, they are openly admitting in their own internal documents that This same tool will likely outpace our ability to defend against it. It's like inventing a new, completely unstoppable explosive and claiming you are only going to sell it to the people building bomb shelters.
That is a brilliant way to phrase it. And this raises an important question, perhaps the most critical question of this entire deep dive.
Yeah.
How exactly do you safely beta test a product that you admit could take down critical infrastructure if it slips into the wrong hands?
You can't.
Right. This is the double-edged dilemma of building a weapon to act as a shield. Anthropic's strategy of a phased rollout initially focused on cybersecurity defenders. It assumes they can maintain perfect, unbroken control over the model's distribution.
But as we just talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As we saw with the CMS misconfiguration and the npm package debug file, perfect control is a total illusion when human error is involved. If a model like Mythos leaks entirely, or if the guardrails are jailbroken by researchers, the shield instantly becomes the sword for every single malicious actor on the planet.
Which brings it all back to you, listening right now. Why should you care about high-level AI cyber capabilities, state-sponsored hackers, and the anxieties of billionaire banking CEOs?
Why does it matter to the average person?
Exactly. You should care because this entirely shifts the baseline for everyday digital security. Think about your life right now. Your bank account, your medical records, your private emails, your photos, they are protected by passwords and basic two-factor authentication.
Stuff we all use every day.
Yeah, but those security measures were built for human adversaries. They were built to stop a person guessing your dog's name or trying to log in from a weird IP address halfway across the world.
The digital locks we use every day rely on the fundamental assumption that breaking them takes a human being time and specialized effort.
Right.
But when a single hacker can deploy an automated army of AI agents that can reason, adapt, and write bespoke code on the fly to exploit vulnerabilities in whatever specific system holds your data, the safety of everything you do online is suddenly playing by a completely new set of rules.
It's a whole new game.
We are moving from a world where cyber attacks are artisanal, carefully crafted by humans for high-value targets, to a world where they are industrialized and automated by algorithms, capable of targeting anyone and everyone simultaneously.
It is a terrifying thought. Imagine your digital footprint, your emails, your voice memos, your behavioral patterns online. A human hacker doesn't have the time to read 10 years of your emails to craft the perfect, hyper-personalized phishing scam just for you.
No, it wouldn't be worth their time.
But an automated AI agent does. And it leaves us with this final, chilling question to mull over. If Mikesh Arora is right, and the only viable strategy moving forward is to fight AI with AI, what happens when cyber warfare becomes completely automated?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Are we stepping into an era where invisible algorithmic battles are constantly raging in the background of our daily lives, moving way too fast for any human to oversee, understand, or stop? You can build the vault, you can set the tripwires, but if a simple human error leaves the front door open, it won't be a human who walks in. It will be an algorithm, and it will already know exactly what you were trying to hide.